Composing your first orchestral work. In this series, we're looking at orchestration, chords, voice leading, and balance. My name is Barney. I'm a classical composer and founder and director of Barney Music. I will be presenting my first orchestral work, Help Is on the Way for Orchestra, and I'm happy to announce that the first movement, A Safe Home, is now available for purchase. Last episode is that we see crescendo in the second half. Again, make sure your eyes are glued to the page. Cannot rely on the sound of the piano. Crescendos will affect your orchestration. In particular, make sure at the very end of the crescendo, so at the end of 256, where it's basically double forte, make sure that it sounds good there as well as at the very beginning. If not, you may find that you will need to adjust your orchestration. What I think I did is I started at the very end, so at the end of 256, and found the optimum orchestration for the end of it, and then work backwards. Okay, so remember, when you orchestrate your works, you often have to work backwards. So we already saw the strings and the woodwinds. Now let's fill in with the brass. So we see that the tuba and the trombones are in 3 octaves. Okay, so there's 3 different well, it's a 2-octave difference, but there's 3 different octaves of do diez. And if you look at the side in the margins for the trombones, I indicated that the trombone 1 is on the top and 2 and 3 because earlier in the piece I specified. So this is something you might want to do. You're not required to do it. You know, I think in measure 247, if you go back there, I specify 1 on the top and 2 and 3. But thereafter, it's nice to remind the viewer of what the distribution is because they might have difficulty hearing the correct balance of the chord. Okay, so we have 1 trombone on top and then 2 on the bottom. Of course, tuba on the very bottom. So this goes back to what we're talking about with the double basses, cellos, and violas. We see a very wide distance for our tonic, so it's going to have a very expansive feeling. Now let's look at the horns. We already talked about in the previous episodes how to transpose the horns here. We talked about the fact that instead of picking down a fifth, here we're going to have to use the bass clef. Okay? So we see the notes are do diez, fa diez, sol diez. And notice that the brass sound good altogether. Okay, we don't have any notes missing. And also notice the percussion. Okay, nice punch, nice fat punch to the sound on the bottom with the marimba. And then up here, we have a nice articulation to the sound for the xylophone. Be careful with the xylophone not having too many notes because it's really, really distracting. So here it clarifies the rhythm and gives a nice shine to the harmony. Final thing to mention, if I haven't already mentioned it, is that the French horns are the link from the upper woodwinds and strings to the lower woodwinds, strings, and low brass. Have a great day.